Amplify Geology on Mars, Chapter 2, Lesson 2.1. So as always, students enter with the warm-up. And in this case, there are 2 questions for them to answer. And then the results from those get formulated into a poll that we'll talk about. In other words, one of these answers is the best choice of the 3 for modeling. 2 of them don't require modeling to answer. And we'll talk about that as a class. We'll pop back into our article investigating landforms on Venus. But before we do that, we just need to solidify the idea of a model. So even though we've been using the term quite a bit, we want to make sure that all students understand that it's really anything. In this, they mention object diagram, computer program that helps us understand something by making it simpler or easier to see. In this case, since we're not on Mars or Venus, we need to be able to use something in the classroom to model what's happening there. And so our stream table ends up being a great solution. So we hop out to the article. There's a link to, actually the article's embedded for the students right here. The instructions are here about moving down to the final 3 paragraphs, which are the paragraphs all below the scientist's image, to answer the 2 questions on the side. Once they've responded there, we move on to the stream table. What they have on their screen is the embedded image of the actual handout that they'll receive, and they record. It's 2-sided, and they record the results on there. I did post the images to Classroom, so if students need to recall what they saw in class at the 2 tables, they can do that with making a clear connection between these stream tables, acting like the surface on Mars, creating a channel, using water, and how does that tie back into our main unit question of a habitable planet, and is this channel caused by lava or water? So we're gathering evidence to build an argument that they'll write later or they'll put together later that shows their understanding. We take a moment to reflect on how scientists use models. This is just the teacher and the students discussing it really quick, referencing back to the poll to see which of those answers is the most appropriate. And it's A, because B and C we can directly measure, where A, since it happens over time and it's more complex, we need to examine it with a model, since we can't recreate the actual events, or we're not present for the actual events. And then homework. This is going to carry over for some students into the next day's warm-up, but they're asked about the stream table model in 3 questions, and that wraps up lesson 2.3, or sorry, 2.2.